Yes, welcome back to another live stream. Twitch sessions with myself, Kutski. This time another vinyl only stream going in for a selection of different genres. We're kicking things off with acid and trance for the first 30 minutes. Then we're going to pick up the pace a little bit as we go in for some Euro hard trance. Third section of the show, we're going in for some classic UK hard house, and the last 30 minutes of the show, winding things up with some hardcore and freeform. And the fun thing about these little vinyl only streams that we do from time to time is after we change genres, every 30 minutes, everything you've just heard in the last 30 minutes gets put up for sale on an eBay auction. So if you're feeling the beats you hear and you're a vinyl collector and you're interested in getting involved, you can pick up some hidden gems. And if you're not interested in picking up any of the vinyls, don't you worry about that. You've just got 2 hours of awesome underground hidden hard dance hits coming up. Let's get straight into the music. It's Kutski live in the mix.
It's DJ Kutski in the mix. Let
First track you've just heard in the mix, kicking things off by a legend of the UK hard trance scene, the one and only M-Zone. That was a track called Track 2000. Nice. That one in the background from DAR entitled Choices. Moving on in the mix now, warming things up with some hard trance flavours. This one from Fire and Ice. I remember buying this record, but I just had a quick skip through it, and I don't think I really recognised it. It was that point in my life where I was just spending every spare penny that I had on records. So each week, whatever I earned from my day job, when I was about 16 years old, left school, got an apprenticeship, got paid each week, went straight to the record shop, 4:30 every Friday, and just spent my entire money on records. And it's about that time now where I need to downsize a little bit, I think, my vinyl collection. Let me know if you're locked into the chat nice and early. Let me know where you're listening from, who you are. Let's get the party moving. Fun schedule lined up for the live stream this week. I'll be telling you a bit more about that later on the show. But first, let's play some music. Okay, let's get some shout outs to everybody locked into the chat. Big shout out to CC for the tier 1 subscription again. Thank you, CC. Of course, my wonderful vocalist on many tracks recently. Shout out to Andy Ray as well for the 2nd month in a row. Twitch Prime subscription. If you're a member of Amazon Prime, you can kick over that. That's a big help. Big shout out to DJ Night Viper as well. 3rd month in a row on a tier 1 subscription. Feeling the love from the crew. Big up. Thanks for the support. Shout out to Nixie, who helped me with my PlayStation 2 problems over the last couple of weeks. We're finally back up and running again after I tried to fix mine. Didn't end well. I'll tell you more about that later in the show. Right about now, going in for some classic acid trance vinyl action. Okay, that's the first bundle for anybody who's following the vinyl auction going on here tonight. I better not show you that side of the record because it might be a little bit explicit for Twitch content. Hang on. That side's safe. The other side's a little bit NSFW, if you know what I'm saying. Euphex with The Rush there on that acid trance vibe. Do you want a quick flash? So those vinyls go in this nice little mailer. I'm going to post the link on eBay now for anybody who wants to pick up a bit of cheap vinyl, add to your collection, help make a little bit of space, as you can see in the background. I've got more vinyl than I've got space, so I need to shift some of it. So I've just posted the link to that one. If you're interested, check that out. Follow it. Bit of fun over the next couple of days, even if you're not interested in buying it, isn't it? Adds a bit of excitement, doesn't it? Sometimes I find myself bidding on stuff on eBay that I don't even want. I just like the thrill. So we're going to be moving on after this. Where are we going next, genre-wise? Going in for some hard trance. Nice. Things that little bit harder up next as we move in into some banging European and UK influence hard trance for the next 30 minutes. In the background now, this absolute banger you may not recognise, but it is a reincarnation of something you are going to recognise very shortly, trust me. course, you know this one from BBE, 7 Days in 1 Week. Awesome little hard trance remix that I totally forgot existed. And I probably wouldn't have put this in the bundle for sale if I'd have realised. But hey, can't get precious. I didn't know I had it, so it's going. Posting the link to this one in a little second, but just let you enjoy the music first. I want to say a big shout out to Numskilled for the Twitch Prime subscription. And also asking about a track that I put in my Full Spectrum mixtape and Joey put in his KTRA track with the lyrics that says Can't Forget You. That's actually a new track by myself and Minus the Crown, aka Joey Riot and Dougal, hence it being in Joey's mix as well. No release date scheduled as yet, but I'll keep you posted on that one. There's a lot of hype about that track, a lot of people have been asking. Shout out to Nick C for the tier 1 subscription, appreciate that one, my friends. Also shout out to CB430. Let's get back in the mix. It's Kutski live on Twitch.
It's DJ Kutski in the mix.
This one in the background, not familiar with. I vaguely recognise that vocal. Not a fan of it, to be honest, but it's by Space Frog. You know who did Space Frog? Follow Me. Big hard transfer everyone's remixed 1,000 times. Maybe that's why he was a one-hit wonder, I don't know. It's a cool track, it's okay. It's kind of more on a techno vibe. So that vocal's going to get annoying, isn't it? Do you want to buy it? It's for sale. It should be a little bit less honest, shouldn't I? Shout out to Nixie saying he certainly doesn't want to buy this one, but he wants the one before. Good news for you, my friend. I'm selling them in bundles of 5, so this is bundle 4. If you look at the links that are going up as it's going along, if you're interested in that. Kind of a lucky dip as I'm going through my garage downstairs, because it's just full of old vinyl, so I'm grabbing clumps of 5 from different genres of music. We play them on the stream. You guys can pick them up if you want them. Saves them going to waste. And if you're not interested, it just makes interesting content once a week, doesn't it? We can delve back to the old school. One show we'll do old school vinyl like this, and then on the Thursday show we'll look forward to the weekend ahead and we'll do upfront hard dance, hard style and hardcore. That's the plan of action as we get hyped for Creamfields. Coming up very shortly. This weekend, Friday, Keeping the Rave Alive Arena. It's going to be big, that one. I'll tell you more about that later. But right about now, let's get back into the mix. taking things a little bit darker and moodier right about now. This one in the background from the king of the underground UK hard trance sounds, John Doe, teaming up with Rooster on this one. Two people who I worked a lot with early in my career. Many of you may know that John Doe was one of the main people responsible for putting me forward to get my Radio 1 show back in the day. He caused such a big stink that hardcore wasn't covered on Radio 1. When they finally decided they needed to cover it, they asked John, they said, who do you think could do it? And they said, we want somebody that's capable of representing the full spectrum of hard music, who isn't affiliated with any major label, you know, so he'd be biased or anything like that. Just a true DJ that knows it, but also somebody young, somebody who's kind of on the scene already and established, but still rising, which is quite a narrow set of criteria that they gave him. And he suggested me, who had absolutely zero radio experience, which you would think would be the important criteria, but apparently not, because they asked me to go down and record a pilot. I hadn't got a clue what I was doing. Just went into the studios, recorded what I thought was a radio show, and they really liked it. And that was the start of my almost 10-year tenure at Radio 1. Pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, big respect to John Doe. Always a big fan of his DJ sets and of course his production, such as this in the background. This is Out of Space. I would love to tell you what this one in the background is right now. I haven't got a clue. It's in a white sleeve. It's got a white label print. It's only pressed on one side. Let me see if there's anything on the run out. No, nothing even on the run out. I could have told you if it was from a cutting house down in London, I could have told you roughly where it was coming from. It's got that old school European hard trance sound, but it sounds like English production. It's quite noisy. English stuff was very noisy. The German stuff was always more minimal. Could have been a Gaz West thing. Maybe not though, it's a little bit too Euro. That squeaky noise in the background, it sounds very sampled. The Europeans wouldn't have sampled it, British people would. I'm guessing it's British imitating being European. Maybe you know. If you know in the chat, let me know. Save me trying to dissect the production to figure out where it came from. Cool track anyway though, do some damage. This is definitely somebody from the UK trying to copy the European sound, I can promise you. Because the next track that I've got is by Drugface, and it's an Uberdruck remix, which is the sound that this is trying to imitate. And as soon as you hear it, all of a sudden you go, oh, right, yeah, that's the real deal. Whereas this sounds very squished, very wishy-washy, very screechy at the top end. This Uberdruck one up next, you're gonna trust me. If you like this one in the background, I like this listening to it, and then when I heard that Uberdruck one, then monitoring it on the headphones, I was like, okay, right, that's the real deal. I'm not sure how well that comes across through the airwaves, through the digital compression, but that just sounds so much bigger and more space, just, yeah, richer. Like the difference between drinking real coffee and instant coffee. The last 5 tracks you have heard in the mix, including this one playing right about now from Uberdruck, is Vinyl Bundle number 4. Posting the link in the chat now for those interested in picking that one up. Not gonna lie, there was a dud in there. But I think these bangers more than make up for it, this. White label copies as well, this. Okay, we're moving into bundle number 5 now. This one in the background from Vinyl Groover and the Redheads, two legends of the UK hard dance scene. This entitled Cocaine, Line 1 mix. Hey kids, don't do drugs. Staying on the trancier end of hard house for this bundle, but some full-on hard houses at the end of it, trust me. Bit of a battle on that mix on the drop, eh? That's the thing, as I was looking at it, there was a really dark ring on the record. So, you know, there's a little drop, you know, the producers put a little break in there. And I was thinking, does he mean you to mix through that, or does he mean you to stop? He meant you to stop. In the background now from Cyclone. This one released on Tidy. This is the Guyver remix. Shout out to Logi for the tier 1 subscription, 3 months in a row. Thank you for the support, much appreciated. Let's get some quick general shouts out. Shout out to everyone locked in the chat, including Alan Jenkins, DJ Night Viper, Mary Flange. She loves it when I say that, doesn't she? Shout out to Ricky, to Nixie. Shout out to Blissy Peck. C. Wilshire. Shout out to Sammy Connor Fox. Better get back in the mix. That's the problem with doing these vinyl mixes. I almost feel a little bit antisocial because it reminds you when you're doing real DJ and the amount of concentration it takes compared to nowadays. But another time, another discussion. This one in the background from Justin Bourne, Move Your Body. Not heard anything from Justin Bourne for quite a few years now. I've seen him popping up on some old school hard house flyers every now and again. Really nice guy. I remember when I was just starting to play down in London, everybody was, it was like a big clique down in the hard house scene, and I was the northerner that came down playing more European influenced sounds, because obviously that was, up north we had more of a varied sound. And it was not like everybody was particularly hostile, but I always remember Justin Bourne kind of going out of his way. I was really young when I went down there as well. These were like full-grown men, and I was just a scally that had just passed his driver's license and had a bag of records, was going down to London for the first time. And I always remember Justin kind of just making the effort just to kind of make me feel welcome. All right, buddy, how's it going, man? What you been up to? Then it's just, little things like that make a difference. When I look back, whenever I see Justin Bourne on records, I always think, just remember what a nice chap he was. Never got to know the guy really well, so, it's not like we'd ever swap numbers or, he didn't really use email that much back then either. This is like back in the early 2000s. But yeah. If anyone does know Justin Bourne, tell him I was asking after him. Lovely chap. I haven't heard this track in the background now from the legend of the hard house scene, the pioneer of the filth sound, as everyone used to refer to it as, the one and only Mr. Paul Glasby. This was never my sound as a DJ. There were a few tracks that I bought just because they were cool tracks when they came out or they were popular, they worked on the dance floor. But I remember this one track in the background called Beautiful by Paul Glasby. I remember this one kind of ticked the boxes that those guys loved it in that scene, but I remember it really worked in my sets as well, and I really loved the melody and stuff. I remember it being quite trancey in the breakdown or something. Compared to some of the tracks that he did, like Hostile, were really four to the floor, straight filth hard house. I remember this kind of having a lot of elements that appealed to me when I was like into early hardstyle and European hard trance. can't remember anything about how it goes, to be honest, so I haven't heard it for like 10 years more probably. So this is going to be a trip down memory lane for me as well. Remember, all the tracks that you're hearing at the moment on the Hard House tip are in vinyl bundle number 5. Posting the link in the chat now if you're interested in expanding your vinyl collection with some of these beats. Shout out Nixie in the chat saying I'm flipping a lot of vinyl tonight. I am. I've got a garage full of it downstairs. I need to make some space. As I said, going to be shifting studios in a few months' time, rebuilding elsewhere, and there's a lot of vinyl I don't even know that I've got, and it kind of needs to go. So this is a good way to make content for the show, let you guys pick it up if it's something that appeals to you. And if not, you can just listen to cool beats.
baptize everybody with fire. I'm going to baptize everybody. I'm going to baptize everybody with fire. I'm going to baptize everybody. I'm going to baptize everybody with fire.
Yes, finishing up the vinyl selection tonight on the hard house tip with this track from Lab 4 Resurrection, I think this side is. I can't tell you because I need to turn the record over, there's nothing written on this side. Just 08, I guess that's the label number or the record label.
I'm going to baptize everybody with fire.
A lot of techno influences in Lab 4 stuff, isn't it? I really like Lab 4 because when you look at them, they really don't, be honest, they stick out like a sore thumb in the hard dance scene. Most people in the hard dance scene, I guess, kind of look like me. Like, scally, white men. That's kind of like the general thing there for the UK hard house scene.
Baptize everybody.
And then you'd see Lab 4 and there were two like full-on rockers, like kind of like long hair, dreadlocks and stuff. And they could look quite intimidating. I remember, again, it was one of them things, when I first saw them, I was like, whoa, who are these two guys? Like, and they were there to turn up like, like a band with their live equipment, guitars, and they were rocking out, thrashing out, going crazy. Again, two of the loveliest guys you'll ever meet. I went on tour with them once in Australia
I'm going to
and spent a day walking around Melbourne, going around like comic book shops and video game shops with Les and Adam. Honestly, two of the nicest guys. That's what I really love about dance music in general and just being involved in the music scene, because every other part of society, kind of different jobs or things like that, it tends to be all segregated off and everything's in its own little path. Whereas with music, you can meet people from all different walks of life, people that you'd never ever have anything to do with if it wasn't for music, and you've got this one common ground. Like when I look at all my friends in it, kind of within the scene, it's people I never would have met. It's just life doesn't work like that. You don't always meet random people from different walks of life and, different experiences and different backgrounds and different cultures. But, thanks to music, I've got some real cool friends that, I can't think of any other way in life that I would have met them if it wasn't for the fact that we were both into hard dance music. It's pretty crazy. The joys of music. So that was Bundle 5 that you've just heard there. I'm going to post the link in Twitch for anybody that's keeping in touch with it, who wants some hard house action. We've got one more bundle left, 5 records, and we're going to pump up the tempo for this one. Anyone remember Freeform? Basically a real trancey, trippy influence into the hardcore scene. High BPMs, high tempos, but not quite as cheesy as the happy hardcore sound. It was a little bit deeper, a little bit more progressive. So I've got 5 bangers up for you. Up next, pure vinyl. It's Kutski in the mix live on Twitch. Let's push them tempos up.
It's DJ Kutski in the mix.
shout out to everybody in the chat posting their stories about being into different styles of music or different cultures. That is what's great about music, really, and especially the rave scene. I remember talking to Fabio about this, if you know the drum and bass legend from London, and he said, you know, when the rave scene really kicked off, before that, you had like, you know, kind of the Jamaican Rasta guys that were into reggae, you had the white guys with leather jackets and, you know, kind of like long hair that were into metal, and you had, you know, all these different, you know, each culture had its own music that it seemed to, you know, adopt and be part of it, and there were scenes. And then the rave scene came along, and let's be honest, you know, people were taking ecstasy. And everyone was just loved up, and it was cross-culture, and you'd just get like, you know, kind of like, you know, an Asian guy with a, you know, business suit on next to a mosher, next to a Rasta guy, you know, and everybody was just, it was this melting pot of society in the rave scene in the early days, and it did break down a lot of cultural barriers. Now, I'm a little bit young to talk about this firsthand. I can talk about my experiences like I did, more like, you know, say, example, me getting to know Lab 4 well. But when Fabio was talking firsthand about it, you know, how it was this real culture, you know, a melting pot of it. There's no better way to describe it. So yeah, so I think that's really cool about rave music specifically, and I think it's important that we don't lose that. It's kind of some of the values that we like to try and keep with the whole keeping the rave alive thing. Getting a little bit deep, I know, and philosophical. So let's just be playing rave records on the internet, aren't I? This one in the background now, kicking off our final stretch of the scene. Raw Elements in the background is the label. Lost Souls, I think, is the artist. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Oh, and I haven't done my nightly plug for the CD bundles. If you're not interested in DJing or collecting vinyl, if that's not your thing and you want to support the show, I've got some CD bundles of classic CDs, 4 CDs to be accurate. We've got an old school hip hop drum and bass one that I did. We've got a hard dance and hard style and hard trance one, happy hardcore and Euro dance, and then a mystery CD. You're not going to get that CD, but you get the idea that you'll get whatever is left in random stock. £15 for that bundle. I'll chuck in some stickers and an autograph card as well, and I'm going to post the link to that in the chat right about now. There you go, if you want to support the show. Anyone who's been following the stream will know when I started doing this about 2 months ago, it was crap quality. And then I've been flogging off all this stuff like that I think you guys might be interested in, pulling the money together and buying new equipment for the show that lets me do all fancy stuff like this, which is pretty cool. So thank you for the support. If you're interested, links in the chat. That one you've just heard in the background, Acer and S1 Trance Overload. I saw somebody in the chat ID that. They've got very good eyesight at spinning records, or you really know your freeform music. That one you've just heard in the background, Robbie Long and Devastate. The two southerners that had a real northern sound. From back in 2002, that was the first release on Thin and Crispy. I'm going to play the flip side of that to end the stream with in a little bit, so I'll save that one. In the background now, a cheeky little mashup series, Hooligans of the New School. This was volume 3. Not really freeform, but it's kind of like, it's not on that super happy hardcore tip, so I think it fits in with this little bundle.
Said only This is the people's war. It is our war. We are the fighters. Fight it then. Fight it with all that is in us. May God defend the right. This is the people's war. It is our war. We are the fighters. Fight it then. Fight it with all that is in us. May God defend the right.
Okay, so just to let you know what we're doing schedule-wise, I'll be streaming heavily this week. On Thursday night, I'll be back same time, same place, 7 till 9 p.m. UK time, the same time you're listening tonight. For all the international crew out there, it'll be all upfront music, that's the plan. Upfront stream, probably a lot more interaction as well, so I won't be concentrating as much messing around with all these old vinyls. Then, if you're not up to much on Sunday, I bought that capture card and I had an idea that I want to set up all my old video game consoles. If you all know, two things in life that I love is music and video games, especially the old school retro video games. I've got loads of them and they're not set up and I never play them and they're just gathering dust, so I want an excuse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new YouTube channel and I'm going to play each game for like 20 minutes or whatever, cut up the footage and put it up on that channel. And when I'm recording that footage, I'm going to stream live all day on Sunday.
The people's war.
So if you want to just have a bit of banter, hang out, make sure you check out the stream all day Sunday. Should be good fun. Just hang out, play some old video games. I can play the PlayStation 2 now, thanks to Nixie. Helps me get that sorted out. Super Nintendo, Xbox, N64, got all that crap up there that I can play and record some footage from. So I thought it'd just be a fun little thing, so it give me a little task to do, a little project on Sunday. So yeah, so I'll stream that on this channel, John Kutski. So you'll get a little notification on Sunday. If you're not up to much, come and hang out with me for a little bit, it should be fun. Saw a couple of people in the chat asking about a link for the live stream. It's going to be streamed on this channel, so literally where you're watching me right about now, twitch.tv/John Kutski, JOHNKUTSKI. If you've just popped in and you're watching the stream, you can subscribe and you'll get a notification when I go live on Sunday. Nice and easy. And I did see somebody as well just post in the chat, sorry I missed your name because it dropped off the screen by the time I'd finished reading it, about if I struggle getting any old equipment hooked up, I can just use an old video player, an old VCR. It's a good call, that, because I've got a Sega Mega Drive, and I was thinking, because that's got the RF out, and I was thinking I've got a fancy card now that's a capture card, and it's got the AV, the three colours, the red, white and yellow, so I can go from all my old consoles that have got AV. It's got HDMI in, so I can do any HDMI consoles nice and easy, but the Mega Drive is RF, and I was thinking, how do I get that? But you're right, it's got a pass-through, so I can plug my Mega Drive into the old VHS player, and I can plug that into the AV out. Good thinking. Sorry, I was just working that through on air. Probably shouldn't do that, but yeah, makes sense. Thanks for the tip. Sammy in the chat, thanks. Credit. Well, I think on quick shout to everybody who's coming to Creamfields this weekend, big festival in England. We're hosting an arena for my brand, Keeping the Rave Alive. We're going to be hosting an arena there on this Friday, the 24th of August. Big lineup on that one. Myself, Kutski, Code Black, Darren Styles, Joey Raya, MKN, AV8, DJ Obsession from Scotland, and Danny Birch over from East Anglia. Some local legends along with some worldwide headliners of the hard scene. Should be big. Look forward to seeing many of you there. Not sure what the ticket situation is at the moment. I'm pretty sure you can still get a Friday ticket or a ladder. I didn't say that. Shout out to the Papster asking if I would ever do these Twitch sessions, do the actual live stream at different times so people in Australia wouldn't have to listen at 3 a.m. It's a good idea, that, but it's obviously just depending on my schedule, when I'm going to be up, where I'm travelling and stuff like that. If I've got a long drive at the weekend, obviously it's like, I don't want to be up at really early in the morning or something like that. But it is something that I'm thinking about doing, because I've got a big America tour coming up, so I'm thinking of doing something late in the evening here, sort of like early hours of the morning, which might be a little bit more suitable to help promote the America tour. So it is something that I'm definitely looking into. So yeah, something to keep your eye on.
Yo, what's up? This is a PSA, public service announcement, because I feel this is something that we gotta say. You see, they're trying to make hardcore disappear, trying to make it final for the vinyl, saying that it's time for the wax to relax. Radio, yes I said radio, put most of us to sleep in the 90s with too many, I said too many, slow jams. And I wanna know where's the beats, for the mind and for the feet, not the songs that put me to sleep. You see, they're trying to make hardcore disappear by making hardcore DJs obsolete.
You know it, G.
And the government, oh yes, the government, they want hardcore to vanish. Uh-oh. Wanna see hardcore go ghost. And the New World Order wants to see hardcore go the way of the dinosaur. H-A-R-D, roar to the core, will never die. Hardcore will never die. Hard is not a matter of skills, but a battle of wills.
You know it, G.
Remember that.
And winding the little freeform section of the show up with this one in the background from Robbie Long and Devastate, entitled PSA. I'm not sure whether it was actually released as Robbie Long and Devastate. Was it RLD? It was Robbie and Dave anyway that made it.
Hardcore will never die. Yo, what's up? This is a PSA.
Hope you've been feeling the beats tonight on the stream, something a little bit different. Let me know if you like these. Like I said, even if you're not interested in picking up the vinyl, it's quite cool to dig back through the archive and listen to some of these tracks, isn't it? Some different content, so we're not just playing the same tracks on each show. That's the idea. If you do want to pick up any CD bundles, if you're not a vinyl collector, or if you are a vinyl collector and you missed the links earlier, I've just posted a link through to the store now. It's bit.ly/Kutski store with a capital K and a capital S. I only just realised that capitals make a difference with bit.ly links, so yeah, probably not the best idea. But the link's in there in the chat now. I've just posted it, John Kutski, so you can see that. If you want to help support the show,
In the New World Order, wants to see hard.
other ways you can support the show, you can do so by subscribing to the channel, especially if you're Amazon Prime member. You get one free Twitch Prime subscription. They give me a little chunk of change. It costs you no money. You get one free subscription every month. If you've given me that already in the past, I very much appreciate that. It doesn't continue month after month, so you have to re-give it me every month, which is a bit of a pain. But I'd appreciate if you take a couple of minutes out to do that, because it does help us here on the stream. Like I said, the plan of action, I'm going to be back live on here on Thursday evening. That's going to be good fun as we get hyped for Creamfields the following day.
Hardcore will never die.
And then on Sunday, I'm having a chilled one, and I'll be on this channel streaming old school retro video games and chewing the fat with you guys if you want to hang out. So whenever you wake up on Sunday with your hangover and just chill, play some games with me, we'll go old school. Couple of shouts before I get out of here. Shout out to Sammy Connor Fox again. Been a lot of help with the stream. Shout out to Curtis 5. Shout out to Alan Jenkins again. I play with buttons. I do play with buttons. I've got lots of buttons here. Looks like I've spilt a pack of radioactive fruit pastels or something, doesn't it? Shout out Night Viper, regular on the stream. Shout out Logi, appreciate the support as always, my friend. Shout out to C4986774. Asking if the Defcon set will be uploaded. I recreated that set on here, so if you go back through the YouTube channel, it'll be on one of the shows. And then while I was doing it, they texted me and said, oh, no, don't worry, we have recorded the sets. So I was like, oh, cool, you could have let me know before. And I hit them after and went, can I have a copy of the set then? And still nobody's got back to me, so maybe I'll just upload that re-record that we did a while back. Shout out to Ploozy. Shout out to Pedro. And I will catch you back on the stream again on Thursday evening with more fun and hard beats. So thanks for joining me again, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Appreciate the support as always. And I'll see you back here in a few days. Enjoy the rest of your evening or your morning, or get some sleep if you're listening in Australia.
Hardcore will never die.